It's been 4 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, and the following is a reaction I had to the news, a certain aspect of the news, which is ultimately terrible no matter which lens you look at it through. I've, in this instance, looked at the invasion of Ukraine from a certain perspective, and it is by no means me saying this is the only perspective that matters right now. I'm done watching the videos. I saw one on, there's this comedian I follow called Yamanika. She's a comedian from New York City, obviously black, if you couldn't already tell by the name. I started watching her like on these roast battles, and she was brutal. Like, she'd go for motherfuckers. And her comedy's fun too. Like, I haven't watched a full set of hers. I don't know if she has a special out. I don't think she does, but she's definitely capable of that if she doesn't already. But anyway, I've seen like clips, so individual jokes or a couple of jokes, never a full like 30 or 40 type minute set. But anyway, she posted this video showing this black woman who was being told to get off the train, yada yada, we already know it. And there was from their accents, they're either Nigerian or Ghanaian, definitely West African, and they're like, basically saying over and over again, they're not letting the black girl onto the train, they're not letting the black girl onto the train. And obviously the white people were going through no issues. And I mean, it's not that I ever needed a reminder, but like, it's helping me to keep all of this in context as well, where it's like, it's wrong, it's an invasion at the end of the day, it's a violation of a people's autonomy to self-rule. But there's also other layers to it as well. Obviously the racism lens makes me feel heartbroken and angry. I'm very disheartened by the response, or the lack of response, of the African embassies in Ukraine. I don't know what national budgets are like for different countries. I don't sit on the boards or the panels that, ultimately make the decisions of who does what and what happens in what situations. It's just so... It's very difficult to understand how there isn't a collected response from the government officials of, wherever these different African people, wherever they happen to be from. You have a presence in these countries. These are your people. Whatever, even if they could have citizenship, they could be in the Ukraine as legally as can be. You know what it is. You know that you are not welcome visitors. You are tolerated there, but you are not from there. What the fuck are these embassies doing as far as we need to take it upon ourselves to use our resources to get people that look like us the fuck out of here because we are not wanted here. No one on that train, none of those soldiers, no one is batting an eye. No one cares. The message has been clear. No one gives a shit. You're recording and screaming, and I understand from that man's perspective. My frustration and my anger is with the embassies and the governments. How are you not keeping tabs on your people and making those arrangements for yourselves to get those people out, get them on a plane to somewhere else? You're waiting for Ukraine to deal with your people. How do you think Ukraine is going to deal with your people? The same way that you're seeing on the videos. What the fuck else did you expect? When has Ukraine ever showed that we give a shit about you as a black person? They're not worried about you. Someone could even argue they don't have to be worried about you. The whole reason why there are African students in the Ukraine to begin with is because shit is so bad in our own countries, we leave. There's so many layers to this shit. There's corruption in our countries, so people deem it better to go live with people who flat out openly do not like them. People who demonstrate in your face that you are not wanted. You go there because it's more bearable. At least you can eke out some kind of life for yourself there. And maybe send some money to your family so they don't starve completely. People will do that. These corrupt ass governments will bleed their own countries, their own citizens dry, to the point where people deem it better to go suffer in some hostile country. Won't even bat an eye. Their own kids are living lovely. They're doing well. And then even further back is the fact that colonization happened, and that set us back how it set us back. Because what people don't realize, or maybe, they don't realize it, or maybe they do and they don't give a shit, or they think that enough time has passed. But you have to realize, like, African country, well, it weren't even countries back then. It was just different tribes, different territories, regional powers. We had our own system and things going on. Motherfuckers showed up and said, this is how it's going to be, and they had the guns and the weapons to subdue us and enforce their will. That will left us behind. Like, that will didn't factor us in. We weren't part of the equation. We had to deal with the aftermath of this new thing being forced on us. And so we've been playing catch up ever since. And so I could even make a case for these greedy ass, corrupt ass government officials that bleed us dry and force us into these countries that don't want us. I could even make a case for them and say that they're only products of the system that was forced on them. Because if you create a system that's not for the people, for the majority that you've colonized, this shit was never for us. We were just supposed to find our way in this newness. It was all for white people. And you create a situation where none of the old shit matters anymore. There's this new thing. Some of you might be on board with this new thing. Some of you might actually do well in this new thing. But the vast majority are struggling. And so, motherfuckers gonna step all over each other to get to the top of this food chain. And that's just gonna be it. They're gonna do well for themselves and their families. And fuck y'all. Because we're just trying to eat too. So even the dictator is a product of that. And that's not excusing African leaders. Like, y'all should still look at yourselves in the fucking mirror and know that a lot of the suffering that Africans are facing is on your hands. I understand that there's a lot of times, or with a lot of conversations, there's exceptions and nuance and yada yada. But goddamn. So, I don't know. Today is sunny. It's nice.